Right, so here we are, the front gates of Eternia. Got actually, wait a second. I thought the gates would be open. Why aren't the gates open? Oh, we gotta walk around. Okay. Fair enough, I suppose. See, we can't fly past this guy. So, alright, we'll just kick things off. Just kick things off. Let's see, Ice Golem. I wonder if he is weak to fire. Let's go, Tiz. See what you can do. I'm pretty sure. That went a little too fast for me. It's fine. Alright, we'll do a little of this. Definitely gotta bring Edea back to good shape. Well, this is one heck of a start. Alright. Jeez. Okay. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Alright. Okay, that turned out to be exactly what we needed, though. Alright. Cheese it.
Give us strength!
I love video games. Alright. Try this again. Right. Little dodge protection. And I don't know, we'll just keep mugging him. Let's see. Let us increase defense and power. Spam the fire magic. Fire sword. Block physical or counter physical attack. Alright. Now we can turn the speed up. Alright. Do a sonic wave.
You end here!
I almost kind of forgot what I was going for with these builds, but it's okay. Okay. That's a bit awkward. Okay. I get Tiz back up in time. Ooh, alright. This is awkward. Agnes is going to be the sacrificial lamb, I guess. Alright, that's a lot of health. This is a much rougher boss than I was expecting. Oh boy, okay. Back. Endure, what does that do? Oh, it just raises your defense. Okay. It's not like Shin Megami Tensei Endure, which lets you survive an attack with 1 HP once. Alright, now let's see if we can raise Agnes back up. It might be time for me to bust out Bravely Second. I'm trying not to, but wow, okay. Try again. Go like this.
Give us strength!
Oh boy. Alright. Back to the old tricks to try to get things rolling. Really? All right. Try to finish him off with a holy weapon.
I'm bored of you!
See how this goes. Can't believe this boss is giving me such a hard time. Alright, see how this goes. This should finish him off. Oh, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Ah, before swine, finally. Cleave. Cleave is an interesting ability. I looked this up recently. Let's pull it up in the menu here. Perform an additional attack after defeating a target with a conventional attack. Chance goes up the more damage you deal in relation to the defeated target's remaining HP. So this is good if you're dealing with, like, a mob of enemies. Kind of just ninja slash through all of them. Hey, Frost. Yeah. Had a bit of a rough go with an opening boss, but Here we
I have
are.
another report, Lord Marshal. The Wind Vestal and 3 others have been sighted leaving that enormous vessel. They've already fought their way through Frost Peak Passage and are now approaching the city.
Have we received word from the forces deployed to the various lands?
I'm afraid there has been no reply from any quarter.
Then there is no hope of reinforcements.
Shut the valve for the white magic cables.
Surely you don't mean that, Lord Marshal.
I think I see what you're doing there.
It could very well have a serious impact on those receiving treatment in the city.
There is naught else to do.
And
Should
I'm
the
suddenly
tower be
blinking
destroyed, the linked cables
on,
place the Earth crystal in jeopardy. Order all defensive units to
on like the
intercept
late
the wind
2000s
at the 3 passages
decade,
from the city.
not like
Yes, your lordship.
century, obviously. Late 2000s, like early 360 and PS3 RPGs. Just totally drawing a blank on those because I didn't play most of them. The only ones I ever played, the only one I can think of that I ever played is Tales of Vesperia. And how do you work that into a joke? Something Blue Dragon, I guess?
So, Edea, this is the land of your birth.
It is.
Then how about a rundown of the popular date spots? I'll escort you to whichever you wish.
Actually, I'd rather not. This city is unlike any I have seen before. It is a curious town
Last
indeed.
Remnant.
Yet I hadn't noticed till I'd been away for some time.
Now that was... I was trying to come up with that name. And I just couldn't. That one, I'm pretty sure even got a re-release on the Switch. I'm like 90% sure that that my sister got it. Or am I thinking of a different one? Now, the Last Remnant had something to do with Square Enix, right? I'm looking this up because I just gotta know. Last Remnant Remastered. Yeah, okay. I don't know a thing about it. I think I watched my sister play it for like a little bit when I was passing by, just out of curiosity. Anyway. Did I? Nope, I hit the wrong button.
Edea, what are those stretching toward the city from up on that cliff over there?
Those are the white magic cables.
Now the
Within them
remaster
flow
is on
energy waves
Switch.
that amplify the effect of white magic. The cables stretch between healing towers
Says it
throughout
was
the
released
city,
in 2019.
allowing patients to receive the latest treatments. That is why few in this land die of illness or disease. The people live in good health everlasting.
Appearances would indicate otherwise.
Waves that amplify the effect of white magic. Is such a thing truly produced here in this land?
But other than that, the original not being on Steam anymore doesn't surprise me. It sounds like the same kind of logic for why you can't buy Pikmin 3 on Wii U anymore. Or Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze on Wii U. Because they re-released those on the Switch. Like, well, if you want to play it, you gotta play the Switch version. The Wii U eShop is going down soon, isn't it? I don't know. I don't know. Oh no. It scales. It's got bad level scaling. Oh no. Square Enix, didn't you learn your lesson with Final Fantasy VIII? Anyway, Eternia's got some fancy new technology going where they can, they've greatly magnified the capabilities of healing magic, so that's pretty cool. Or that sounds pretty cool. Who knows, there might be something going on with that.
Well, the more precise term would be extracted rather than produced.
Ah,
Before I left Eternia, I was thankful for their beneficence. I harbored not a doubt in my mind. But now... Edea? From where does this cable... Edea? I thought that might be you! It's been ages! We were classmates at the Officers Academy!
yeah, I will say, I will admit I've never actually played Final Fantasy VIII, but, you know, I've been around the internet long enough to know that, that one of the things about it is that if you grind your levels, the game's enemies scale with you. Only they scale very poorly in the sense that it makes it a lot harder if you level grind. But, what was it called? Junctioning? Where you, like, drawing and junctioning, where you, like, absorb spell charges from the enemies, and then you can attach those to your stats to make yourself stronger. That's the preferred way of doing it, because then you're not... because the enemies don't scale from that. Which does sound interesting when I put it like that. One of these days, I'll have to find a way to give it another try. I know that got a remaster too, didn't it? Like a not like... You know, the way that Final Fantasy IX got remastered. I know 8 was kind of the odd one out for a while. Anyway, here's Edea's unnamed classmate.
Oh, I was worried when I heard you've been assigned to the Sky Knights. What a relief to see you safe and sound. Oh, and I heard about your mother, too. My mother? Has something happened to her? Nobody told you? She was recently admitted to the Central Healing Tower. The Central Healing Tower? What happened? You really have no idea, do you? Well, you'd better go pay her a visit then.
Alright, so something happened to Edea's mom. She's still alive because we can visit her and draw that conclusion. But before we do that, I gotta go shopping. I already got one of these. I don't really need another one, that's hardly worth it. Oh yeah, I heard that was a thing with the PC versions of 7 and 8. I know that was a thing that you had to do before with 7, was you really wanted to patch in or mod in the music, because otherwise you'd just get awful midis. Oh yeah, I can imagine that having the fast forward would help. Magic enhancing rod. Yeah, we'll get one of these. Assassin's dagger. Ooh, no. That sounds pretty good. 25% chance for an instant kill? You know what? I'll take it. Killer bow. Okay. I don't think I'm using a shield with... Just leave that be. Actually lowers Ringabel's magic attack, which is not ideal. Okay, let's see real quick. Harrison. Place the Rod of Fire. How does an adamant hat raise your evasion? Explain yourself, game. Alright, Edea's, or not Edea's, Anya's defense in that last battle was extremely bad, so I think she's definitely got to get the defense upgrades. You know what? All three of them can get the vest. Get a suit of armor, too. Need these. Raise HP by 500. Just extra defense. Those don't seem particularly worth it. Sorry, Mirage Vest, but, oh. What did it do that? Do I have something that raises, like, mind power? Because that would be ideal. That worked. Okay. Oh. Getting all turned around here. Okay. Not having the black robe kind of sucks, but it'll work out in the end. And, okay. But now, to look at the spells and lament the fact that I cannot afford them. Or, well, let's see, 3,200. Alright, I'm gonna get those three for sure. And those two, that'll be fine. I don't remember if I can actually use them. I guess I'll take a quick peek. Okay, I do not have, let's see, go to the job screen. Alright, I don't have level 5 magic unlocked on anyone, except, I believe Edea's, Spell Fencer? Where is it? There it is. So Edea can use the, Firaga, Blizzaga, Thundaga, Spell Sword things. But no one can actually cast it. So it's fine that I can't afford it. Anyway, Central Healing Tower. Let's see what's going on.
She's right this way.
Mother!
Why, Edea, when did you return?
Never mind that. Are you all right?
Of course I am. You mustn't trust everything you hear. And I've been feeling quite a bit better since I came here.
Yes, but...
Well, aren't you going to introduce me?
Oh, about that. You see,
I am Edea's mother, Mahzer Lee. Thank you for looking after my daughter.
Mahzer
So,
Lee.
You are the Wind Vestal?
Mother, how could you possibly know that?
I am the Grand Marshal's wife, after all. I hear much to which others are not privy. And I am particularly well informed about the Wind Vestal's traveling companions. Sir Alternus provides me with the latest news.
Alternus. I wish he'd mind his own business. But
In
he
fairness
knows.
to Alternus,
Oh no, we'd better get out of here.
as one of the Council of Six that's supposed to rule over Eternia, knowing what Agnes is up to is kind of his business. Anyway.
Oh, relax. I won't report you. After all, it's not that often that I get to see my darling daughter.
Mother.
My, you look almost grown up now, Edea. And to think you were such a spoiled little thing when you left.
Mother, you're embarrassing me.
Don't listen to her, milady. We'd love an in-depth look into Edea's childhood.
What a wonderful friend you've made.
To be in your daughter's company, the pleasure has been all mine.
You stay out of this, Ring-a-Bell.
How wonderful to see you so full of vim and vigor.
I'm sorry if I worried you, Mother.
If that is truly so, then there is one thing you could tell me. Why did you defy your father so? You must have a good reason, I'm sure.
The world. It is being consumed in darkness. Many have already suffered greatly as the shadow envelops the world. Tis here counts among them. And the suffering and sorrow will only multiply if we fail to stop it. Agnes has been risking life and limb in her quest to rid the world of this darkness. Yet my former comrades in the Knights of the Eternian Sky sought to capture and even kill her. And it's not only the Sky Knights. The military forces, agencies, and consuls Eternia has dispatched throughout the lands, they've done nothing but cause pain and suffering, and taken many upon many lives. I used to believe anti-crystalism was the true way, but I know now that is not so. After traveling the world, there is so much I've seen for the first time. I've taken in all I've seen and all I've learned. And there, deep in my heart, I've come to know what is black and what is white. That is why I am here now with my dear comrades and friends.
So you have come to do battle with your own father and the Eternian forces?
No, you don't understand. We haven't come seeking battle. We've come to awaken the Earth Crystal.
Awaken it?
Yes. But then I received word that you were ill and receiving treatment. Now I don't know if I should.
There's no need for that.
No need? Mother, what do you mean?
There's no need to worry about me.
It's time for your examination.
Forgive me, but this is where we must say goodbye. Please, do look after my daughter.
Mother! Edea, the white magic cables extend to that medical tower as well. I wonder to where they all lead. To the Earth Crystal. What's this? Eternia has advanced its medical arts by extracting the crystal's energy. My mother once suffered from a debilitating disease. That she could speak with such vigor today is due to the Earth Crystal. But how could such a thing be possible? Even Vestals are incapable of extracting power directly from the crystals. It seems Eternian scholars long studied how to extract such power, and finally succeeded. But I know no more than that.
So in other
Wait,
words, don't worry about it.
what would become of this central medical tower if we were to awaken the Earth Crystal? What of your mother, Edea, and the many others receiving treatment there? If the power provided by that cable were to suddenly cease, the people that depend on it to survive, They might all...
As a Vestal, I can only say that this white magic cable is a desecration upon the Earth Crystal. And yet...
There are people whose lives depend on it?
But only the Eternians benefit! I mean, not awakening the Earth Crystal is like... It's like abandoning the rest of the world to suffer darkness! It's not an easy choice, but we have to try! We can't let the whole world be covered in darkness! She's right. The peace and tranquility that Eternia enjoys is built upon the tears of others the world over.
So how do you feel about
And
the
I shall
trolley
not stand for
problem?
it. That's why I'm here with you. And that's why you must awaken the Earth Crystal, Agnes. Agnes! All right, then. I'm glad you understand. Now, to reach Everlast Tower, we must make our way through Eternian Central Command. There are 3 passages leading there from here in the city. We must pass through one of them. But be warned, my father has no doubt deployed an ironclad defense.
Ah, yes. Well, right. Let's have a little party chat first. Oh, good. They're going to talk about passages. So basically, well, yeah, there are 3 paths. Imagine that. So it's kind of a trade-off between, you know, the actual distance you have to cover and the strength of the enemies. So you got your the short and very difficult, your medium, and your long but very easy paths that you can take. I keep feeling like there's a hidden item around here somewhere, and I really have nothing to base this on. Just vague memories. And I could even be wrong. Anyway, I have not given any thought to how I'm going to approach it. I guess I'll just go for the middle one, the middle length one. What did they say? The western? Yeah. I don't know how well you can see it on the map, but I'm going... Let's see. Oh. Okay. So it says... oh. Let me just move my window real quick. Alright, yeah. Good, so I can show you. So, yeah, this would be the central path, obviously. The western path is a little longer. The eastern path, you gotta go, like, all the way down here, and loop back around, twists and turns, all to rejoin right there. So I'm just gonna split the difference. We'll go up the medium strength path. You know, I've turned off encounters, and I should turn them back on, because otherwise, what's the point? Not double, just normal. Give me the normal amount of encounters. Oh. Time for bears. Yeah, I think we're going to want some defense for this. There it was. I get it. Weak to earth, of course. Right after I got the, or I had the opportunity, rather, to buy the armor that increases earth elemental attacks. Wow, okay. Oh, I guess Tiz is missing out on the experience again. Well, it's fine. I'm over having everyone be perfectly balanced in levels. It's okay. I'll live. I promise. That's a dragon. That's a detour. Guess we're fighting a dragon. Oh, that looks like a zombie dragon. Is this a zombie dragon? It's a zombie dragon. Alright, let's give it an examination, see how bad things are. $25,000 weak to fire, okay. Alright, Byraga's sword, let's do it. Oh, wait. Oh, I went too far back. Okay. Byraga's sword. Counter. You know, I just realized right now that I bought that assassin dagger. It would have been really great to put on Anyas. I thought, oh, why don't I just switch to that now? But then I remembered, oh wait, this guy's undead. He's going to be immune to instant death attacks anyway. Sure would be cool if I could cure poison on everyone in one go. But oh well. I guess I can ring a bell, deal with it. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. I don't know, like, the exact math that goes into it, but that heavy damage that that Edea did to counter that poison breath. That's beautiful. I had it. Oh, I didn't have the feeling that this would happen. But I should have known that 25,000 HP was actually not that much after having to fight that frost giant that had like 60,000. Ring a bell. That's not much damage at all. Okay, we'll do it.
Here I come!
Oh. Rude. Alright. Well, at least I can cure everyone of poison and also get a Cura going. But since it has been kind of a while since I was, you know, able to touch this game, I do want to say that I am kind of enjoying the party builds that I've got going on here. At least with Edea and Anya's running counter strats. Try Moon Shadow, sure.
This decides it.
God. Oh no, it's because I have it set to instant kill. I have the death touch, so it's just ignoring whatever damage I can do. It's gotta be it. Alright, Ringabelle, go for it. Alright, good. That's down for real. Poison immunity, evade 20% up. Counter amp. Ooh, counter amp sounds really good for what I've got going on. Let's see if I can throw that in there. Just do... Alright, raise counter damage by 50%. That's pretty solid. I think I can sacrifice that 10% physical defense for that. And what was the thing that I got for... Right, evade 20%. My only problem with evade 20%, for example, is that it's a relative 20%. It's not like, oh, hey, here's a 20% chance to dodge. Here you go. Oh. Village wants to give me stuff. Sure, I'll take that. Do my cursor some more. It's fine. Like, it would be great if it was just, oh, okay, here's 20% evasion on top of whatever your equipment gives you. I don't think that's the case.
It was here that I was raised. I feel as if I haven't been back in ages. But it hasn't truly been so very long. They say home is where the heart is. But all I feel is... loneliness?
Oh, spare me your sickly sweet nostalgia.
Oh no.
I mean, we're going to kill you anyway, so...
He's here.
You! You're the one who slew Olivia!
Slew?
I bid you, Victoria, unleash your full power. Spare nothing.
I wouldn't have it any other way. The kid gloves are coming right off!
Oh boy, are we walking right into another fight already?
Kill Olivia? Why? Let me think. I suppose you could chalk it up to me and my butterfingers. Don't look at me like that. I mean, a crystal vestal? Ha! You're no match for me. And that goes for those fools you're with, too. You stumpy little brat! Stumpy little... Did you hear that, Victor?
Edea! How dare you hurl such heinous language at Victoria! I care not if you are the Grand Marshal's daughter. I'll not rest until you lie dead at Victoria's feet!
Fine. Then I'll not rest until that foul-mouthed girl falls head over heels for me.
God, ring a bell.
I'll have you know I'm in top form today. Now you'll see just how helpless you are before me. Go ahead and try and escape. I'm going to toy with you like a cat before I really sink my teeth into you. Not talking so big now, are you? I grow bored with this. Better say your
This is a pretty forceful scream
This
for,
ends.
Oh.
It's happening
She's
again.
having another one of her fits.
Victoria!
Victor, I can't. Please.
Last year grew more unstable than I had feared. We must seek treatment at once.
Hey, wait!
Yeah, we're not getting our fight immediately. But very soon.
Where did they go?
Victor spoke of getting treatment. The closest place around here for that would be the room to the right.
Nice and easy. Well, let's go to the room on the right.
What? This...
Look!
What is that?
Oh, it's a healing tank. Mondo cool.
Silence, if you please. She would likely perish if we were to disturb her now.
Victor S. Court? What is the meaning of this? Who or what exactly is that child?
Allow me to tell
Or
you
back
a
to
story,
tank, yeah.
if I may.
That too.
In other words, you're stalling for time. Time enough to replenish Victoria's power.
No, that is not my intention. This treatment is merely a bid to save her life.
I just wanted to make a reference to that one clip in Dragon Ball Z where they've got Goku in a healing tank. Krillin's like, wow, Mondo, cool. And Vegeta, in an internal monologue, is like, that's right, boys. Mondo, cool. Great stuff. And yes, would you believe that that Victor here, his full name is Victor S. Court, because he's constantly escorting Victoria.
Now, about that story. In truth, it is a tale of the not-too-distant past. Once upon a time, in a place not of this land, there was an orphan child suffering an incurable disease. Her name was Victoria. Abandoned by physicians and all around her, she simply waited upon her inevitable demise, all the while gasping in pain and despair. But hearing her voiceless pleas, the Lord Marshal took her in his arms and brought her back to Eternia.
My father did that?
Were it not for his lordship, her fragile life would have soon been snuffed out. I am sure you are well aware, Edea, but science and medicine in our lands have advanced greatly with the use of white magic. I was pulled from my studies on the Earth Crystal to treat her, and yet my treatments were still experimental, incomplete. She survived, but ill effects linger. Side effects graver still than her original condition. Fits like that you witness strike periodically, and their frequency increases with each day. Violent turns of mood soon stripped her of any semblance of self-control. Each time her tiny form is racked with pain, I ask myself, knowing the result, would I still have intervened as I did? But ever is my answer the same. As long as I draw breath, I will see that she does too. No matter how she suffers, I'll not allow her to die. She is both my crime and my redemption, my ego, my joy. I dedicate my entirety to her, and know no greater pleasure.
What nonsense.
Yeah,
Really, Victor? That
they
was
weaponized
so
the
boring
orphan.
and really long, too.
Forgive me, Victoria. How do you fare now?
Back to my old self. But I don't think I could take another one of those fits. Now, let's take care of these fools once and for all. To think you'd just stand around twiddling your thumbs when you had a second chance to finish me. But that just proves you're the fools I knew you were. Victoria! Don't blame me. You're the ones who just dug their own graves.
Well, here we go for round 2, I believe. It's been kind of a while, but I think I can still take him. Probably. See, get some examination going. I'm gonna go with Before Swine. Let's see how this goes. Ah! Oh, okay. So we're playing it like that, huh? Well, he did say that she's crying. That seems like an apt statement. Let's try to mug Victor. The statement leaves a bad feeling in the mouth, a bad aftertaste. So let's just divest him of his valuables, maybe. Okay, we'll try Force Swine. Oh. Oh, actually, that's real bad. Oh boy. I might have to figure something else out. Antidote. Okay, no, I got it. Do a little of this. That will give me some extra BP. Then I can do some antidotes. Okay. I see how it is with all those buffs. Sure. Oh no, I've got water amp. So I should use Bizarro. Alright, stack Forest Wine and Nothing Ventured because they will both stack. Hopefully... that was exactly what I was afraid of. But I guess it all works out in the end. Well, except the cures, the casts of Poisona kind of went to waste. But that is one of the kind of devastating combos that Victoria is able to pull off. That spell she casts there, Exterminate, it does heavy damage to anyone who's poisoned. So you can see, at least I hope you can see how that would be a bit of a problem when she can just group cast poison like that. Normally, yeah, no, normally you can't even group cast poison, but she sure can. And it didn't even count as magic for like counter strats. Still going to keep the counter strats going though, because those are pretty important.
Think you're ready?
All right. Alright, hopefully I can get the poison cured real fast, because the other thing about Exterminate is that it just completely whiffs if, you know, if the target isn't poisoned. It automatically targets everyone. So... well... Alright, good. That's extra mean. But nothing I can't handle. Alright.
You, a mere vestal, dare hinder my every move.
Your early years may be tragic indeed, but I cannot forgive what you've done! You stole the life of a dear friend from me!
Vengeance? I can relate to that. I've no interest in
Pretty
Grand
funny
Marshal's
timing with the
fancy
music there.
idea. But we do agree on one thing. The need to crush the orthodoxy. Total annihilation would be too easy on them. They'll all pay for what they did to me.
How dare she inflict doom? So rude. Throw that up there to get protection against any physical attacks that come out, because Victor can still throw out some physical attacks. Wonder, can I cancel support effects, stop, reflect, re-raise, silver magic, okay. Nothing, I don't think there's anything I have in my disposal that can properly cure Doom. We'll just do that. I kind of just have to tough it out. I think. Two people are poisoned. Oh, I'm just gonna try to mug Victoria. Maybe she's got a cool weapon that I can just take. Let's see if I can get Edea to survive. Right, she did survive. And, right, she doesn't counter that. Welcome back, Frost. Alright, scheming. Trying to come up with something. Alright, so Agnes is going to go down after this turn, and there's nothing I can do to prevent that. Which is unfortunate. Tiz needs to do some healing. Ah, and watermelon. Nice treat on what I assume is a hot summer day where you are. Seems like that's pretty much everywhere. The hot summer day. Oops. $90. That's a little rough. It's actually relatively cool here. I think it's more like 80. That can't be right. My phone says 76? No. 73? What the hell? It's 80 degrees in my room where I'm streaming from. It's just rude. How dare. Alright, that works.
Let's go!
That's true. Man, I've got the window open, I've got a fan blowing outside air into the room. How dare it be several degrees warmer inside than out? Alright, I gotta protect Fizz and fast. Alright. Raise magic defense. Raise physical attack, I suppose. See if I can get some fun sword magic in here. Beautiful. I gotta get more in the habit of raising battle speed when I'm under time-sensitive conditions like this. There we go.
In my way.
Got that in just under the wire. I haven't really been doing much damage. Is that an Elvis job? Basically, it is a performer. I do singing, which mostly does stat boosts. Yeah, Bard. Sick of getting inflicted with doom. Alright, let's do support to
Let's end this quick.
actually debuff the enemies. Will that actually work? Will that actually do me any good? I can only hope. I really do need to get more aggressive. Sure, raise magic attack. I'm gonna need that. Okay. That's a very underwhelming attack, gotta admit. Down goes Edea. Right. How am I gonna get out of this one? I guess we'll do a little rejuvenation.
Come, sacred light!
Again. Alright. I want to see what I can steal from Victoria, so I'm gonna keep working on that. Okay, that's some pretty solid damage there. Oh no! That figures. All this time, for most of this battle, I've been using the magic counter move with Edea, and the one time I don't, that's when she finally gets targeted with a magic spell. Gotta be kidding me. Are they? They're still debuffed. Okay. All my special buffs are gone, but that's okay. I'll live. Tirada, how dare you? Alright. We'll pick on Victor, I guess. Since he is the healer, I probably should take him out first. I don't know why I didn't. Why I wasn't focusing on him. At least not focusing on him a little harder. Could do that. I could. I guess I'll just keep building up Edea's specials. I see what you're doing there, Frost. I like it. I approve. Keep it up. I want to be able to spam Mug with Agnes right now. Alright, try stacking both counters up. See what I get out of it. I should have paid more attention to the enemy brave point count. Oh, wait. Do that, just in case. He is... As soon as I saw that Frost, completely derailed what I was about to say. Edea's gonna die. Agnes, be fine. Okay. Here's how this is gonna go. Maybe. Block with Edea, or with Agnes. I can't believe I'm mixing them up. Yeah, alright. I'm gonna throw out my antidotes first. I know what I'll do. Take advantage of Godspeed Strike. Definitely want to take out Mr. the support guy there. And now I will throw out my antidotes. Okay, I guess you could say that. Can't really dispute that, can I? That Godspeed strike was not nearly what I was hoping for, but it's okay. It'll be fine. Alright, now I've got a free turn for buffing. Does look kind of like that, doesn't it? Alright. Let's see, get magic, get physical power. Another Godspeed strike. Amp up magic power some more, for Ring-a-Bell's sake. We're going to Fire Sword, Raga Sword. You gotta be kidding me. But yes, that is a very apt description of Victor's weapon there. Come on.
Get lost.
That's probably what it's really supposed to be. Now that you mention it, it just doesn't quite look like that. Alright. Another Godspeed strike out, I guess. Alright, we'll try this fire combo again. Alright, let's cut it real close. Thank God for Angelic Ward. Slowly but steadily build up my specials. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to invoke, like, Caduceus, the staff, Hermes, but got no snakes on it. I don't know how effective it is, per se. Where's magic defense? Hey, what do you know? Raise magic defense just in time for Victor to cast Holy. I should dispel that elemental amp. That needs to stop being a problem. Let's see. Yeah, she's got a spell. Or she's got brave points, so I can hopefully finish Victor off this turn. Oh, alright. This will do it. Raise magic defense even further. I think I'm settling into a groove here.
Fool! I didn't say you could die before me!
Oh. We're in there now. Let's, take that free turn. Hey, there it is. I went by a little too fast, but I'm pretty sure that was quad 9 damage. Alright. We're almost done here. Why don't I just do this? That should finish things off. Slow things down to normal speed, because it's the final attack.
I couldn't possibly go on without Victor. Not that I was that fond of him, but I did need his treatments.
Yeah, whatever.
It's better this way. Now I can finally die. Finally.
Whatever helps you sleep at night, Victoria. I guess that was a bit of an ordeal. Shunshin. Don't know what that is. We'll look it up after we take their jobs. The Arcanist, that is Victoria. So their whole thing, they can do kind of a lot of things, really. They've got that poison and exterminate combo. They can inflict doom. They do dark magic. That synergizes really well with the Black Mage, if you can believe that. And then on the flip side, Victor, the Spirit Master, most effective healing magic. They even save white magic MP. It's like 25%, I want to say, just naturally. A lot of their abilities are related to elemental damage, nullifying it, amplifying it, protecting against it, that kind of thing. So even though Tiz is pretty close to hitting another level in Performer, relatively speaking, we're going to switch him to Spirit Master. Yeah, 25% less MP when using light magic. That's really good. Yeah, we'll keep that the same. I mean, I got that staff. Single target Isuna. Well, that should raise his mind, I think. Yeah, so... And it's better than Sage's staff net. So, we'll do that. I've got all kinds of healing for free at my disposal. Gotta take Ring a Bell. He can be the Arcanist. Anything fun for him that I can give? Adrenaline would be, yes. Just don't know what I... Oh, I do have adrenaline on him. Okay. Then I just stole a poison rod. I guess isn't actually that strong. Nope. 50% chance to poison the target, go figure. Lots of magic attack, though. Oh. Kind of forgot what it was beforehand, but that'll get the job done. So I can just bop someone, get a 50% chance of poison, and then before long I'll be able to get Exterminate, which will do lots of damage at a very low MP cost, as I recall. True, we didn't come this far just to stop here. I made reference to the trolley problem before, but it's not really a problem if you've already decided on your answer long before you got here, right? Okay, so that door is locked. It's probably a shortcut. I don't remember. The enemy gets 1 BP. No fair. I want 1 BP. Shunshin, what does it do? Ah, raises evasion to maximum. That's great, except it's, you know, it's still relative. So I don't know how good that's actually going to be. These guys, I'm pretty sure, are all weak to lightning. Maybe not all of them, but some of them. Probably that guardsman. Wow. Super rude. Alright, we'll try that anyway. We'll try Spirit Ward while we're here. Why not? Right on tis. Does it have to be a single target magic? It doesn't have to be single target magic, so what the hell? Alright. Whatever. Alright, see how this combo works out. You guys are being such jerks. That's where Cleave could have come in handy if I had that equipped. Oh well. Hey, there's that Exterminate spell. Alright. Why do I have so many turbo ethers? Not complaining, but why? I shouldn't regret that. At last, plot. Again.
Hail, Nessian children of man.
Who's there?
A petulant daughter's act of rebellion against the father who neglected her.
Laying it all out on the table.
The naive Vestal's sense of justice as dictated by others, unquestioned as it is unflinching. An orphaned existence, ignorant of himself and alone in this world.
Wow.
Has playing as the trusty friend filled your hollow soul, boy?
Wow. Cutting right to the heart of the matter.
Show yourself!
Not but children, all of you.
What?
I am done here. I leave the rest to you, Alternus Dim.
Your cooperation is much appreciated.
Cooperation? No. It is simply a matter of friendly concern. My interest lies in the Templars, the Grand Marshal's daughter. You may cast the remaining 3 into the dungeon, if you so wish.
Not the dungeon.
Yes, my lord.
The 2 newest members of the Council of 6 have perished at the hands of the Vestal. 'Tis such a pity. I never had the chance to meet them.
Maybe if you showed up to the meetings, my dude. Whoever you are.
So Victor and Victoria have met their end?
Yes, Lord Marshal.
A tragic end to tragic lives.
Indeed. But the Vestal and her fellow conspirators have been captured.
Though the toll was heavy. We have them at last. Well done, Alternus. Well done.
No, this was not my doing. It was his.
I see.
There was one more matter, Lord Marshal. Your daughter, Edea, is in her room.
And?
I simply thought you'd wish to know.
Power Ranger is Alternus Dim. The Dark Knight.
Is this my room? Where is everybody?
Well, that's a bit awkward, but yeah, here we are in Edea's room. Had to clear my throat there. Would you believe?
No, leave us. I simply wish to speak with my daughter.
I thought the door would be
Now
locked.
go.
But it's time for a good old father-daughter chat.
Father. You never learned to knock first, no matter how many times I asked.
It seems like ages.
What have you done with my friends? Where have you taken them?
Your fellow conspirators are held in the dungeon.
The dungeon? I'd feared that. So they yet live?
As for the Wind Vestal,
Agnes! What will you do with her? You'll bring ruin upon Eternia if you harm a hair on her head!
you speak of ruin. It is you and your conspirators who nearly brought ruin upon this land. Crystalism is a cult, a tool for deceiving the masses. We can trust them with the crystals no longer. The Wind Vestal shall never again see the light of day. And should she persist with her uncooperative attitude,
Then it's as I feared. You'll have her executed, though she was merely caught in a web spun of your selfish ideals.
selfish, you say?
Well, they are, aren't they? You send big men to chase down and capture one little girl. You wage war far and wide. You ravage nature. You bring suffering upon innocence.
He has been doing all
Are those
these
your
things.
ideals, Father? What is it you're trying to do? I don't understand. I just don't understand.
I did not raise you to be such a shallow little fool.
Father, why do you say such things?
The Earth Crystal is now the last of the crystals here upon Luxendark to retain its normal state. All who seek to awaken the crystal, whether the Vestal or my own flesh and blood, shall face the wrath of my blade! You shall remain here whilst you regain your senses.
And just how long am I to be your prisoner?
Until you realize the error of your ways! Redouble the guard. My daughter poses a graver threat than you might think.
It's as I feared.
Probably
Father does
true.
not understand.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. Like, oh, saw the auto advance.
Lord DeRosso, Your Grace, what brings you here? It has been 15 years since you last ventured forth.
But yeah, you've got this. Obviously, you've got this conflict between Edea and her father there, and even the side quest with Edea's master Kami-Izumi, it ends with him pleading to her, "Hey, have like a serious heart-to-heart with your father, because otherwise, it's only going to be tragic for the both of you." And there she was, just asking for an explanation, pointing out, you know, all these atrocities that that he's ordering, that are being committed in his name all over the world. But he is too stubborn, too hard-headed to actually offer that explanation. The only thing to take away out of that is that he claims that the state of the crystals, when we saw them, they were like so dark, they looked like they'd been caked over in heaps and heaps of mud. He called that the normal state of the crystal. What does he mean by that? Don't know. Why is awakening them bad? Don't know. But he believes it. Without any explanation, he just grounded her. So, here we are. That's where things stand.
15, you say? It brings me joy to see what a fine Grand Marshal you have become. For an immortal such as I, 15 years seems but a fleeting moment in time. Do you recall that day? It was dreadfully cold by your reckoning, though just the sort of weather in which I delight. Upon ceding the head counselor's seat to you, I retired to my castle and partook of a goblet of steaming wine. And now
I don't think
15
wine should be
years have
steaming.
passed
Like, I don't
since you
drink
rid
wine.
yourself of me by naming me Archduke.
Like, I don't drink wine, but I don't think it should be
But
steaming.
I ask you, are you content? You seized the Earth Crystal and laid waste to the places sacred to the Orthodoxy. And you brought the crystals under the dominion of man, exploiting them.
Now, to be
to
fair,
build your ideal society.
he was shapeshifted
All
into a
great
bat
deeds
earlier.
we failed to accomplish.
So I don't know how much
You should be proud.
of that is cosplaying and how much is he's
I did
just a
it not for
vampire.
pride.
I would have you accept my words as true, for there is no veiled reproach therein. Indeed, you have acted most valiantly, unlike we who have long done naught but watch from the shadows.
Could be blood.
And yet, you have been too hasty, brave the Templar. I fear I do
By
not
the way,
share your urgency. For
Edea's
my
dad's
life
name
has
is
spanned
Brave.
2,400 years.
Brave Lee.
But I understand the reasoning therein, and it is from such understanding that I say you have been too hasty.
Though 15 years have passed, you have changed not one bit. However, if I might respond,
Father just doesn't understand. Right. All ready. It's quite a way to the dungeon, but I'll manage.
Forgive me, Lord Marshal. Is Edea here with you?
no, she is not. She was supposed to be confined to her chambers.
Yes, Lord Marshal, she was. But she suddenly disappeared.
What's this? We're not the sentries vigilant?
I have to
They claim
look
never
that
to
up,
have stepped
'cause
from
I
their
don't
post.
get that.
Her chamber door
That
was never
goes
opened.
beyond me.
Then how could she have?
Ah, her father's daughter indeed. She acts from the same sentiments, those sentiments that you once held for the Crystal Orthodoxy.
How could you know that? Have you not been away from this land these 15 years?
Was it not you who drove me to exile? Well, be that as it may. But to one such as I, you and your daughter are one and the same. Passionate, stubborn, not even 100 years old.
Oh,
So it is I can understand
get it.
what both father and daughter are thinking. Simply,
I
watch.
actually got some results on Google, just not any meaningful
You ought
ones.
try speaking with her, and listening too. Your time for such opportunities grows short. Crystalism. Anti-crystalism. The quarrel between you and your daughter is but a proxy for that clash of ideas. Open your heart before it is too late. The very future of this world hangs in the balance.
You truly have not changed, have you?
Is that so? Well, you must forgive me. But lest you forget, it was you who appointed me Archduke.
I know the dungeon key is around here somewhere.
Anyway, right, drama, because no one's using their words, despite all these characters on the side saying, hey,
Found it!
use your
Now
words,
free everyone.
please. Anyway, Edea didn't yeet herself out the window. She yeeted herself down the fireplace? Something like that. Alright, everyone seems to be fine. At least they've all woken up. Ring a Bell is expressing some very reasonable concern. And amazingly, the journal he's carrying has no insight. I think there's... Now, I'm a bit hazy on it, and I guess we can learn the truth later. But I think there's like a secret panel, a secret door in the back of her fireplace. And Eri is completely useless. I could, in fact, just be confusing it with Paper Mario. I won't deny that opportunity, but there is a secret passage in Edea's room, for sure. Anyway, the gang is all here. I do have to, like, go to them one by one.
Yes. Are you all right? I am. Now that you're here, Edea, I'm glad to see you're safe and sound too. Me? Well, the Eternian forces do view you as a traitor to your homeland. I feared they'd have some unspeakable punishment awaiting you. You needn't worry about that. My father is not so draconian as that. And yet, on second thought, at least no harm has come to you.
I'd like to thank you too, Edea. You saved me from having to search this entire dungeon.
Eri, do you think you could have carried this key around? You're so little after all.
It does look really heavy. I'd rather not think about lugging that about.
There's nothing to worry about now that I'm here. Well, I better lead the way. With your poor sense of direction, Agnes, who knows where we'd end up. Now hold on. My sense of direction has improved. At least somewhat. Isn't that simply a matter of having Eri and Tiz lead the way?
Well, that may be, but...
Don't take it so hard. Now come on, follow me.
If you say so.
Alright, we got Agnes back. Who's next? Okay, that's not so bad. I'm gonna say, oh no, I don't want to fight this guy all on my own, but probably fine. We'll just get him with some moves. Just... Oh, okay. Like that, huh? I'll just go all out. Now... treasure, light curtain, okay. What? How dare? Broom. You mean that the enemy was holding? I think it's just supposed to be like a staff with a very kind of brownish orb
but it was really
at the end of it.
After all, I was raised within Central Command's walls. I know every nook and cranny.
Were you able to speak with your father?
Huh? What does it matter to you?
You have family you can talk to. You ought to, you know.
You would forgive my father? Grand Marshal of Eternian Forces. head counselor of the Council of Six. You've seen how much Agnes has suffered because of my father's orders.
True enough, but...
You need not worry about me. We need to focus on awakening the Earth Crystal.
Alright.
Tiz is back. Party chat. Glad you're alright. Well, she probably explored the dungeons when she found the secret door that led to the dungeons from her room. And wouldn't you know it? Yeah, it gives you a backstage pass, that's right. But, wouldn't you know it, after Tiz is like, hey, you should really talk with your dad. He is like, don't worry about it. But hey, you should really talk with Agnes. Tell her you like her. There's probably a party chat for, Edea and Agnes that I just kind of overlooked, which, oh well. Alright. We'll do it this way. We'll just go extremely all out. It was just a little bit of a hypocrite. Easier said than done, apparently. Tiz, you're not gonna... Overkill, but I'll take it. No kill like overkill. Pressure for me. Pocket change. Well, I shouldn't call it pocket change. That lets me buy a whole spell. Alright, hey, ring a bell.
Are you alright, Ring a Bell?
That kind of reminds me of a side quest from Xenoblade Chronicles to get one of the personality trait skill trees for Melia. And I had is something else, isn't it? But the skill tree is called like reticent or something. And that was just kind of funny because some NPC asks Melia to like convey her, as in the NPC's romantic feelings, to some guy. And Melia's like, no, why don't you do that yourself? And the NPC is like, oh, I get it. You're the reticent type, huh? You don't want to admit to those kinds of things. You don't want to talk about them. Melia's like, but wait, they're your feelings. But you still get the skill tree for it. Anyway, ring a bell. It's alright.
Why wouldn't I be? I mean, I knew you'd come. All I had to do is sit back and wait. And, well, here you are. I'm the luckiest man alive. You're my savior, my goddess. Let me thank you with a big kiss.
Ring a Bell, are you coming or not? I can leave you here.
Of course. Let's go.
I'm in a place for everything, ring a bell, and this is not it. Oh. She's doing the thing. Ring a bell is like a dog chasing a car. He has no idea what he'd do when he actually catches it. Hush money. Okay. Oh, now I can afford another spell. I'm gonna see if I can get that extermination going. Alright, perfect. There's the poison. That's what I needed. So exterminate for the heavy cost of 4 MP. Oh. Mean to pause it entirely. I can just inflict 3,000 damage. And I can do it again because he's still standing and still poisoned. Except he's been countered. But, you know, the point still stands. Wowie Zowie. That is a super good combo. Unless your target is immune to the dark damage. The dark elemental attacks. But aside from that. Oh, but we actually have to get out of the prison, and they just have archdemons roaming around? Alright, whatever. Puddle Swirl, just, let's take this. Do more poison combo. No, you can't squeaky wheel me, Edea. What are you thinking? I guess the whole point is that she isn't thinking. I'm gonna save that now. Now that it's been used, or now that it's been derailed. Okay, he's immune to darkness damage. Alright. Let's get him with tick damage. The DOT. What do I want to do? I want to do... Oh, got a healing lore. Okay. Wait. Did not mean to go back downstairs. Can't believe I actually forgot about the angle of the staircase. And you know what? I'm gonna... Nope, not that. Want the... Okay, thank you. Enemies give 1 BP. Rude. Alright, we'll try this. A little of this, a little of that. I wonder if I can cast Doom on a demon. Does that work? That didn't really work. That worked well enough. This is fine, everything is fine. Try the old extermination gambit again. That worked. Alright, good. Can't believe this place is like a maze. Beautiful though. In case they get any ideas. There's a... Hey, yeah, you know what? We'll do that. Poison everyone, then work? Wait, that didn't work. Fine, whatever. I was hoping to just do some real damage. Absorb M damage. Oh yeah, that's the thing that the Arcanists can do. They actually absorb a portion of magic damage, so you know, makes magic attacks less effective. I mean, if the damage they take kills them, then you know they'll just die. But until that happens, they recover a portion of it back. They really want a piece of Edea. Well, I'll just build up her special some more. Convert BP. I don't know what that does. Find out together. Convert BP. This is sacrifices 20. Oh. Raise your BP by 2. That's pretty big. It's the way forward. Treasure. I've already gotten bored with battles. I just want to poke around for more treasure. When I get back to the critical path, then I'll turn the encounters back on. But there's got to be a way down to get that one treasure chest, and I want to find it. Here. Okay. Dragon Fang, not bad. Treasure here. X potion, valuable. Alright, let's unlock the door or whatever.
Now, if we can get through here, then... hold on while I try this key. It won't open.
Are you sure? Do we need a different key?
I don't understand. I'd thought...
Oh no.
Little Edea, in a bit of a bind?
Of all the people.
Who's there? Sage? Is that you? What are you doing here?
What am I doing here? I could ask you the same. As for me, I'm right where I belong.
But this
Right
isn't
where
that
you-
hut in the
Yes, indeed.
Ilyana Woods.
You see, I'm a founding member of the council that preceded the Duchy of Eternia. And that would make me your enemy.
I don't understand.
Ah,
I've been sequestered in Ilyana Woods ever since that Templar Brave Lee seized power. But the fact remains, I still count among the members of the Council of Six.
he just means he
You were
belongs
acquainted with my
in
father?
Central Command.
Then you must have known who I am. Why didn't you say so, you miserable old Lex?
Yeah, Brave Lee.
I saw little need, being that I was in seclusion
Married to
and
Mahzer
no
Lee,
longer attending the
or
council.
Mother Lee. And father to Edea Lee. That's the Lee family. Running the show in Eternia.
This cannot be. You are a trusted friend to us. A teacher-like figure who rendered aid. And to now hear you say you serve Eternia? The people who killed the Earth Vestal, the Fire Vestal, Olivia! I don't understand. Who are you, really?
Who indeed? I am but an outsider looking in.
What do you want with us?
An old friend has risen from a long slumber, so I came to see him. While I was here, I thought I would deliver a warning.
A warning?
Then you yet serve the Duchy's forces, and mean to stand against us? You are not entirely wrong there. This world is not so clean or pleasant as you may think. I suspect your journey this far has taught you as much. Malice is not the only enemy. The road to ruin is oft paved with good intentions.
Luckily, there is no one by the name of Default. We'll get into who his friend is later. Actually, I don't think it's much of a surprise to say he's talking about DeRosso. I mean, it has been 15 years since he showed up. It's kind of a long slumber, even if you're immortal.
With action comes consequence. The joy of some may be the misery of others. To decide one way is to abandon the other. Knowing this, will you continue upon your chosen road?
Nothing could stop me.
You mean us?
Right. Us. We've come so far together.
Is that so? Well then, have the courage to think and act on your own.
Those words. Have the courage to disobey.
Hey,
Well,
there it
now,
is.
You do remember.
Sage.
Step back.
Mage?
Know that ever shall I be watching over you.
That's one way to bust down a door, is to just completely annihilate it with an explosion. Alright, now we can turn encounters back on. Should be fine for the time being. Oh my god. Didn't even get through one step animation before I got an encounter. Oh, I love video games. Just let Edea run wild on these guys, I think. That's the plan I want to take. And if worst comes to worst, then I can bail him out with, say, ring a bell. Yeah, that worked. Highlight. Avoiding any jokes about the series. What does Twilight do? I think it puts everyone to sleep? Oh, instantly kills enemies and allies who are asleep. Doesn't work on bosses. I don't know if there are any bosses you can even put to sleep in the first place. Anyway, turns out that the door that was locked earlier was not a shortcut, except to the dungeon. Alright, well... nothing ventured. A little of this. Oh, let's try the special and see how that goes.
Let's start the show!
Alright, that worked out well enough. Heal up. See treasure. This isn't technically an exit. Does it lead anywhere? Oh, no, it's just a landing point for the ship. So if I wanted to go traipsing around the world, I'd be allowed to. Gotta remember to keep my cursor. But yes, the door is locked, so we'll have to go up.
Ahead, and the chamber of the Council of Six is housed at its summit.
So that's where we'll find your father, Edea?
Yes. Along with the Dark Knight Alternus Dim and that strange man who put us to sleep.
Well, we need the key Edea's father has. That's the only way we'll make it to the Earth Crystal. If we can just get the key, maybe we can avoid fighting a lot of people.
I'm afraid that is one big if.
Lord Marshal, the gate to the dungeon was utterly destroyed. But why would Yuliana assist in the Wind Vestal's escape?
The capricious old fool. I cannot fathom his thoughts. But that the two appear now after 15 years. It's as if they have come to gloat over my demise.
Lord Marshal, I'm afraid I don't understand. It is unlike you to utter such bleak words.
Victor and Victoria are defeated, and we no longer receive word from our squads deployed abroad. Those two grandsires said their piece ere going into hiding again. All that remains now of the Council of Six are you and I, Alternus.
I shall not concede defeat. Were we but to slay the Wind Vestal.
And what of my daughter? Could you slay her too?
I...
Hear me, Dark Knight, Alternus Dim. I would have you escape while you still may.
Your Lordship, I must protest. Am I such a burden to be sent away so?
It is my faith in you that makes me bid you leave. For I have a task I would entrust to no one else.
You need merely speak the word.
The time has come for me to share my true aim in restoring the Duchy of Eternia and reveal the secret born by its predecessor. Until now, only I and those two grandsires were privy to such knowledge.
This is the room where I grew up.
So this was your room.
Hey, ring a bell. Let a girl keep some privacy.
Where's the fun in that? This place must be full of memories. I can almost taste them. I don't have any memories, least any I can recall. So forgive me if I wax a little sentimental here. They say you can tell a person by their room. And all I can say is, what a fine room you have here.
Thank you.
Hey, isn't that a picture of you, Edea? You look so young.
Oh, how embarrassing. Let's pretend you didn't see that.
Here's one with your entire family.
Oh, I'd forgotten about that.
Seeing this picture leaves no doubt of the depth of your father's love for his daughter.
If by love you mean exasperation, you may be right.
Are you truly prepared to battle your own father?
That would seem to be my destiny. You could say I truly am my father's daughter. We are both of a mind that shan't ever waver once we decide upon something. To go against one willing to die for his beliefs calls for steely resolve. That is why
It doesn't have to be this way.
How so?
It serves no purpose to abandon dialogue from the start. Not while you are both here to talk.
I will consider it.
But that cannot be. How could such a secret be behind the crystals?
It's not for us to question the truth. I will see that the Vestal and her followers are stopped here. And you, I would have you prepare for the worst. The Pillar of Light will appear somewhere in this world. You must find it, Alternus. And you must be victorious.
I saved this for you.
Oh my god, I've had my mic on mute for a good while.
Father.
Oops. It's fine. I wasn't saying anything important.
How could I have not known about that secret passage to your room? What am I to do with you now, Edea?
Well, I've been using it almost as long as I could walk. It's come in handy more than once.
I see.
Listen, Father. The truth is, well, I wanted to help you fulfill your ideals. I truly did. I think I was lonely. I mean, no matter how I tried to get through to you, you never paid me any mind.
It was as if you always had your back turned towards me until I left Eternia.
It was not that I never accepted you. Rather, you were ever my pride and joy. My assigning you to the Sky Knights was an acknowledgement that you had become the woman I knew you could be. I had thought you might tame that band of ruffians, to bring them to order and lead them. Alas.
Thank you, Father. I never knew you felt that way.
Do not thank me, for I too shall do whatever it takes. I cannot allow you to lay hands upon the crystal. Mine is a cause that I shall not willingly abandon.
Yes, Mother told me. It was when she first fell ill that you began to rush the pursuit of your ideals. Was it not?
I will not stand by and watch you ruin all I've made. You and your band shall not pass.
Why, Father? Why must you always refuse to listen to me? Are we really that different?
My ideals are no longer my own. It is my calling, nay, my duty, to protect this world.
Protect the world? But it's you, Father, who endangers it! Is this battle between us all but inevitable? I came here knowing that mere words could never bend your will, and yet...
You've come this far, only to spout such sickly sweet sentiments. You disappoint me. Blood and steel are the final resort between those unwilling to concede their beliefs.
All that talk.
Brave Lee, the Templar, Grand Marshal of Eternia. Prepare for battle!
All that talk about, using your words, have a dialogue, open your heart. I can get it. What do you think this is? Who do you think the Templar is? Is the Grand Marshal? You don't get that title by talking, I guess. I can guess that he's weak to darkness, which, oops, I don't really have access to. I don't have the dark spell. Only way I could do darkness damage is if I could poison him, and there's probably no way I can poison him. Yeah, I missed. Another thing he likes to do is build up his BP, because that's what his job is all about. Ooh, that was a sick critical hit. What shall I do? I guess the smart thing would be to kill Edea. Maybe I'll spam poison and hope I can land an actual hit. He's going to do another big attack. Heart strike. Okay. That stung a bit. It's okay. Bring her back. She'll be fine. More poison spam just for one turn. Oh, it actually hit. Okay. That's good. Very good. No, I got a sword. Did I? Can I get anything else? Wait, did I get a sword? I went by so fast, I already kind of forgot.
You shall not pass.
Oh. Okay, he's got more health. I don't trust him when he builds up his BP like that. His back up on his feet. We'll try the poison spam again, because now I know it actually can hit, can land. Try lightning. I'm pretty sure he's just weak to darkness, but... And I don't even have a way to check his stats. Oh, okay. Counter strats are pretty effective, it looks like. This really doesn't need to do anything.
You shall not pass!
Oh, it's doing a double Gandalf. Alright. I still get one free turn after this. Okay. Do it like so. Just unleash everyone's specials, I guess.
I'm bored of you!
Let's go!
like I chunked through his health a little faster than this way. Only 200 JP for that. Okay. Oh, we're through. We've inherited the Templar asterisk. Ah, ramparts. Now that is an incredibly useful skill. Legit one of my favorite skills in this entire game. Rampart just negates physical attacks for the whole party.
Forgive me, Brave.
One command.
Forgive me, Edea. This is all my fault.
What is this foolishness you speak? You are ever the strength that keeps me alive. And I love you and Edea dearly.
Father?
Do not fear. He is merely unconscious. His wounds, they will heal, though it will take some time. And he may never wield his sword again.
Mother, I took up arms against Father. I told myself I was ready to fight him.
He really is Dr. Acula.
Even if it meant shortening his years.
Then surely you will not stray from your path, so long as you hold that feeling near and dear. By your actions, you have finally granted your father a reprieve from his anguished struggle. It was for the best.
Mother, we now go to awaken the Earth Crystal.
I see.
Forgive me.
There is no need to ask my forgiveness.
Oh, but there is, Mother. For if we awaken the crystal, your treatments will no longer be possible. We will no longer be able to keep what ails you at bay. What sort of daughter does that to her mother?
Oh, Edea, you truly are your father's daughter. And that is what makes you even more dear to me.
Mother!
How very touching. I beg pardon for my interruption, but your fear is misplaced.
And you are...
Of course, you had yet to see me in this form. I am Lester de Rosso. But you may address me as Lord de Rosso.
What do you mean our fear is misplaced?
It appears you have underestimated the Templar's great deeds. Deeds for which he risked life and limb. For he has advanced science and medicine in this land by 100 years. While complete cures may not yet be possible, sickness and disease can be prevented from further progression. Awakening the crystal shall not rob your mother of such mortal life as she has left, Edea.
So then...
Then the trolley problem was fake all along.
To awaken the crystal!
Dear...
Ironic, is it not? To think I would be the one to urge the Wind Vestal and her companions to awaken the crystal. I can see purpose unwavering in your eyes. 'Tis as if I gaze upon Brave the Templar in his youth. And yet, there is still much that you cannot fathom. I have seen years measuring in thousands. Hope and sentiment intertwined with right and wrong, good and evil. The rise and fall of the Orthodoxy, the restoration of Eternia, The two conflicting beliefs concerning the crystals. So much may happen in a life immortal.
Well, I'm glad he's got some amusement out of all this.
The way to Everlast Tower is beyond this door.
Let's go!
Now then, will I make a Templar? I kind of want to just make that Edea. Templar specialty, BP limit up. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, so the Templar, they can store up to 4 BP, which is pretty cool. If you're into that kind of thing. Hard strike, what does that do? Oh, guaranteed criticals. Okay, yeah. Ability, yeah, I'll keep sword magic on. Sword magic is great for all kinds of things. I guess I don't need counter amp. I'll do Katana Lore just so I don't have to change her equipment all that much. I did oh, Claymore does a lot more damage. What else did I steal? I swear I stole something else. Didn't I? Is it a light charm? That can't be it. I found that from a treasure chest. Alright, I don't need katanas. That's gonna be the case. I guess I'll just bring her defense back. Better use a claymore. Yeah, alright. The way is open. There's a side quest there, but I think we're gonna press on, yeah. For our final task of the day. Theories about time loops. We're going to meet the author soon. Relatively soon. I'm just hoping that the tower itself isn't like a dungeon. That I can just kind of it's looking like a dungeon. I should have known. That's alright. I think I'll just speedrun it. Just to say...
This was once the Temple of Earth. Look what has become of it.
I'm just gonna keep the encounters turned off.
Yet the change is clear.
Well, At least it seems the Eternian forces dare not deploy troops here.
Yet, I sense a foul presence.
Monsters, no doubt.
They may be after the Earth Crystal. Let's hurry!
Alright. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep encounters off, poke around, pick up some treasure chests, maybe. What is this? Oh, this must be the exit so I can fly out. Yeah. There's a side quest, but we'll save that for later. For another time. No, I just said that I would turn off encounters, but what if I turn them back on just a little bit? Just because... you know, I do have this new job that I should build up. Should level it a little. I can beat up a truck again. I think male dragon is... Oh, wow. It's... big lad, that's for sure. Oh no. Edea, please. I need you to hit more times than that, please. Right? Will it help? My god. What have I gotten myself into? Thank you. Alright, there's the protection against light. Go figure. More stuff. What's down here? Forward. There's something about this dungeon that specifically the windows that are in the background or in the back wall. I feel like there's a hidden path through one of them. Wow, rude. Or poison. Why don't I just do poison? It's a really good combo. Poison and exterminate. The only way that could make it better is if is when I unlock the ability to group cast it's normally single target spells, because that is an ability that comes up eventually. Yeah, see? I knew there was something fishy about that window. So, like, a lot of dungeons have, This is magic. I don't use magic, though. I guess I use status magic. Think about it. Not with Edea. Rude. So rude. Right, what am I even looking at? That's a lot of death and destruction. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna turn off the encounters again. Cool. It's cool. Don't worry about it. Give me that rune blade. Go. What was I trying to say? Oh yeah, it's rude that that they just put a false wall sometimes. I'm kind of okay with the idea that, like, that secret passages don't just automatically appear. Gotta find out about that summon. I haven't used Summoner in so long, but I gotta find out to get that one. But if you're gonna put false walls and just no reference to the hidden passages on the map, I don't know. I think it's rude to do both. I think there should either be an indicator on the map that maybe there's something fishy about a spot, or make it actually look fishy, and that way you don't have to put an indicator on the map. Because otherwise you're stuck rubbing up against walls. Right. Before I start this, let's check the notes on summoning. Ancient Tower Prayer, buried in Viscera, rock behind land. That's a hell of a description. I don't. Heart of bolts. Oh, you know what? That would be lightning, I assume. I don't think so. Just yet. Ring a Bell should have. Should be under Summoner. Fate Lightning. That should enable him to survive. So let's see what we can do here. See what Deus Ex looks like. Oh. It's a crab tank. And
You dumb...
I told you to stand firm, not to...
Whoops. I'll give that one more try. It doesn't look like guarding against lightning actually helped. But maybe I can get a lucky roll with Angelic Ward. Big Owl casts "You're dead" and immediately says, "Oh no, I didn't mean to." Alright, no lucky roll there either.
Dumb. I told you to stand firm, not to...
Okay. That's gonna be for later. Which is fine. I know the saying is third time's the charm, but... Nah. I know I saw... yes. There was that treasure chest that I think I overlooked. Or I already forgot what was inside. Turbo Ether? Yeah, I just forgot what was inside. That's fine. I do appreciate that this area has multiple entrances and whatnot. Or I guess it didn't. Never mind. The Kikuichi Monji. 36 versus 40. Okay, but much better critical. I will just leave it for now. Or I wonder. That was okay. For some reason, I thought that a ninja was pretty good with a katana in this game, but I guess not. It happened. Alright, locked treasure chest. I feel like it's soon that I'll be able to finally deal with these blue treasure chests that have been hidden in every dungeon. Not quite yet. Dark shield. Does that nullify darkness? Yeah, it does. Okay. I know when I'll want to use that. Probably soon, actually. If Edea is not going to be doing much damage, then that's actually not a bad idea to put that on right now. At least give her all that extra defense. And I don't need two-handed up, or two-handed. I'll just throw in counter. And yeah, have the tank have a chance to counter. Even if it's for not very much damage. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. this is looking like the end of the dungeon. Yeah. Top floor. Okay. Still got to do a little winding around. And we can check out these rooms along the way. No, I don't care. I'm not here to read. Sure, it's all fascinating world-building stuff. But I was hoping for conversations, not literature.
Let's see. Oh, this is an account by a crystallist of high standing.
No. Actually, you know what? There's one called The End of the World, and that might be... That might be useful.
See. The End of the World.
Whoops.
So that's how the Earth Vestal was slain.
What an awful tale. With a stroke of his long blade.
Alright, that wasn't as helpful as I'd hoped. That's enough of that. Not even gonna bother with that last room. Had enough. Alright. Now, for no reason at all, I am going to make sure that all of my moves do light damage. Pretty sure that's what I need. Oh, that's not even buffed. Right. Also do undead slaying. For no reason. I don't really need to be blind touch or anything. That was more to make sure that the boss doesn't like negate the damage. That's right where it needs to be. Piercing bolts. Undead, okay. Oh. Okay. I guess we'll do a manual save. It's really no different from an auto save, but in case it turns out I got things wrong. Anyway, here's the crystal chamber. And it's looking a little different.
Is this the Earth Crystal? What have they done to it?
They scienced it.
What do they think the crystal is? Some kind of toy?
Forgive me.
No, Edea. Why should you repent for the sins of your father? Now, let's get on with the rite of awakening.
What's that on the crystal?
That's Giga's Lich!
It's the propagator of doom as told of in the sacred texts of the Orthodoxy.
Now we're at the propagator of doom. Anyway, here's Giga Slitch. He's a big lad. I'm pretty sure he's weak to light, which is why I did what I did. I'll slow things down just so I can see. And, oh, okay, he can just instantly kill people. Negative power is, I think, a passive ability of his. I mean, it just kind of triggered passively, so there is that. Anytime he ends his turn with his BP in the red, he gets stronger. A little bit stronger. I mean, 10%, it's not nothing. Let's try Heart Strike, see how this goes. Can I steal anything from him? You know, that's kind of a good point. They're usually not beefy lads. They're usually just stinky, rotting lads. Alright, let's try...
Don't fall for me now.
Basic special. Yeah, see, weakness damage. Hit for 5,000. Please don't hit Tiz. Poor Tiz. Alright. Kira on Tiz. That's the ticket. Wow, rude again. Alright, time to bust out the rejuvenation already. He's gonna be that way.
Let's go!
And I really need to get a Dispel out so I can cancel his power, his boosts. That extends the combo, I think, specials. Right, of course. Can't have anything be easy now, can I? That's not a bad idea. To really inflict some harm. Since I've got double healing power, $7,000 with a Curo, that's pretty good. He's capped out his buffs. That's fine. More rejuvenation. Again, keep that combo going.
Give us strength!
It's such a simple yet effective strategy. Just keep charging your staff specials. That should keep things going. Keep the party nice and full. Yeah, that went even better than I anticipated. Wow, lots of abilities
I wonder when
learned.
that creature first settled here. I refuse to believe this could be my father's doing.
For better or worse, I believe the Eternian forces would have guarded the crystal from such threats. Maybe it took advantage of their weakened state to slip in unnoticed.
Save your jabbering for later. We have a crystal to awaken. Okay, here goes. This is the fourth and final crystal. Make us proud, Agnes! What's wrong?
It's really nothing. But time and time again, the Duchy's people have warned us not to awaken the crystal.
Agnes!
I know. I ought not let it bother me. Now, let us begin, Eri.
Alright, here we go. There go the pipes.
Not yet! Just a little longer! More! Keep going! Still not enough! You can do this!
Oh, still more? Jesus. Forgot how many steps there were to this.
Stop! That's it! Hooray! We did it!
Holy smokes! That was by far the brightest of the 4 crystals.
Agnes, are you alright?
Yes. Thank you, Tiz.
Now all 4 of Luxembourg's crystals have been awakened. Nice work, everyone.
What a joyous day. Now perhaps the world...
Is the Great Chasm gone?
Nuh-uh. Awakening all 4 crystals should have caused a pillar of light to rise somewhere in our world. It's the Holy Pillar, the first light, divine source of life and the origin of this world and the heavens above. Once I place my brooch within the Holy Pillar, the first light will spread across the world. And its divine light, born of the awakened crystals, will sweep away all darkness. And the Great Chasm should vanish along with the darkness.
So all we need to do is take you into the Pillar of Light. Then let's go! That is where this will all end.
Lead the way.
I'm with you.
Together we go.
Alright. Also, hell yeah. Got 5 support slots. Our maximum after all this time. Take a look at one of these things. This is a neat support ability. It gives magic a chance to critical. 15%, that's as high as you'll get any base weapon. Default guard just reduces the damage you take in default. We'll just slap that on real quick. Where is... Oh, I don't have that ability on her. I was just thinking it would be great to have that, this one, turntables on Anya's, or on any ninja doing dodge tanking. But, that's okay. Auto shell. Figures, magic defense, holy one. That would be good on a healer. You don't need, excuse me. You don't need to physically attack with your healer, but amplifying your healing magic by 2.5 times. It's almost, excuse me, it's almost as good as healing lore. It's just that healing lore affects all recovery, whether your items or abilities or magic. Holy One does not. I think Holy One is just limited to magic. But if you combine the two, I'm pretty sure they stack. We'll just leave Tiz's slot alone for now. 0. Boost magic when last digit of your MP is 0. Black magic amp. For 50% more MP, deal 25% more damage. Do that later. Anyway. I think we'll just warp out of here. Thank you, Teleport Stone. Alright, and yeah, we've got a few ways to go. I think the game just wants me to fly. But we won't be doing that. Instead, we're just going to save right here. And that's going to be it.